Hi, this is Tom Mura with another animated drill for this week. This is a 6-cone passing progression that I really like to use because it goes from simple to complex and allows you to work on basic passing technique and then do some passing that is more like the passing that we'll do in a game. Very seldom will you see players pass and then follow their pass in a game situation, but it's a great technical environment because you can just focus on the individual technique. Now, there's obviously other ways to do this, but with this basic setup now, I can do all the technical work at the beginning, just getting the players passing the ball properly and increase the speed. And depending on the level of the players, you can always challenge them at a higher level. With older players, more experienced players, you're going to ask them to do things faster. You may ask them to do things one touch. So you're going to increase the pace in order to increase the pressure on the players. But to begin with, it's a very simple pass and follow your pass progression. So we'll start out with 3 lines facing each other. And I like to have no more than 2 players in each line if possible. That just keeps things moving so that everybody gets lots of touches and isn't spending a lot of time standing around waiting. So you've got each line doing the same thing where we're passing, following our pass to the next line. And now at the beginning of this, what I'll generally do is let them go, kind of see what the players are doing, how they're passing the ball. Are they doing things correctly? The items I'm always looking for is I'm always looking to make sure that they're receiving the ball with a good first touch, because if they have a good first touch now, that sets up their pass. So receiving the ball out of their feet, in front of themselves at an angle so that they can step into that next pass. So I'm looking at the first touch, then I'm looking at, do they get their foot alongside the ball before they pass it so that they're in a solid, balanced foundation before they strike the ball. And then finally, I'm looking to see, is their ankle locked and striking through the middle of the ball. If their ankle's locked and they strike through the middle of the ball's going to go straight. I often tell the players that the ball doesn't have a brain. Ball goes where you tell it to go. If you have a locked ankle, you hit it with a solid surface in the center of the ball, it's going to go where you want it to go. So focus on that. Foot alongside the ball, ankle locked, striking the center of the ball, and we've got good passes. So we're passing, following our pass. We'll often start with asking the players to pass from their right foot to the other player's right foot. So we're passing across the player's body so that they're receiving it. And I'm doing this not only just to get them passing the ball across the receiver's body, but to get them thinking about aiming at a target and not just hitting it in the player's direction, but really focus on making a good quality pass to that player in a certain spot that you're aiming for and not just in their direction. So we'll start off with right to right. For the majority of players, they're right-footed, so it's easy to start off with their strong foot. If I get a couple of left-footed players, I'll try to pair them up in this activity and ask them to start left to left so that they can, again, start with their strong point so they're doing things as easily and as correctly as possible so that then when we transition over and go with their not as favorite foot, so they're going with their left foot in most cases, then we can still kind of look back on the things they were doing well with their favorite foot. Are they taking that good first touch? Most often, they're not going to have their ankle locked with their weaker foot at the beginning when they're first learning. That's just a reality, so you need to be on the lookout for that. So locking their ankle, oftentimes they don't get their plant foot alongside the ball, so they end up reaching for the ball and making a poor technical pass. So focusing on that at the beginning is going to make everything else that we do that much better. The final thing I'll do with the 2 lines facing each other in this kind of a pass and follow your pass kind of progression is that I'll ask the players to receive it with one foot and pass it with the other. So now they have the option to pass it to whichever foot of their partner they choose, but that person has to receive it with the inside of one foot across their body on a diagonal so that they can step in and make the next pass, make the next touch, I should say, as a pass with the inside of their foot. And the goal being to do that in a rhythm of a good first touch, step and pass. So a good first touch, step and pass. If they're able to repeat that rhythm, then they're taking a good first touch and they're playing quickly enough. Again, with more experienced, with older players, you're going to challenge them to do that a bit quicker. How quickly can we do that? You perhaps are going to challenge them with one touch, as we said before. So this is a great way to start and get the players all thinking the right things before we move into the next phase of the practice, because things only get more complicated and more difficult from there. So the next thing I'll do is I'll take out one of the soccer balls, and we'll have the balls positioned now across from each other at these center cones. And so what's going to happen now, the pattern that we're going to repeat on both sides is that we're making a diagonal pass to this player, and then this player is making a straight pass. We'll move that back. So then this player is making a straight pass from here right down the line to the third player. And then that player is making a diagonal pass back into the center, but on the opposite side. So we're going with a diagonal pass as the first pass, and then we're going as a pass down the line as the second pass, and then a diagonal pass back to the center for that third pass. So we've got diagonal, straight, diagonal. And that pattern continues on the other side so that when they have the ball, they are making a pass that goes diagonal. And then I'll take this one and we'll make the pass go down the line. And then we finish off with another diagonal pass that is going to go from this player into the central player here. So we're just repeating that diagonal passing pattern as we're going around and going through the exercise. So we're going diagonal, straight, diagonal again. Now, this pattern is fine. At the beginning, I'll just get the players understanding the pattern so that they know where the ball goes, because you'll get them looking for the ball at the wrong side. We want this central player looking for the ball coming from the opposite direction. So they need to keep their body open and they need to be looking at the player they're going to receive the ball from, but be ready to take a good quality first touch in the direction of their pass, which is going to be here. Now this player knows they're going to receive the ball and they want to receive it with their back foot, which in this case would be their left foot in front of this cone. Receive it with their left foot, pass it down the line with that left foot. But when they pass it, we want to make sure that they're giving this player a friendly pass that's going to be easy for them. If this pass is outside, over here, it's going to make it very difficult for this player to move, receive it with their right foot, get it across their body, and then make a good pass. It's going to ruin the rhythm of the exercise, and it's going to make the player take a lot more time to make that pass. So being sure that you're passing the ball to the player where they're going to need to receive it and then play it is a really important part of this once the players get the pattern. So they've gotten the pattern. Now we're thinking about how to do it better and how to do it faster. So down the line in front of them, now when this diagonal pass occurs, we want this diagonal pass to also be across the player's body. It's no good to have this pass go out here and the player have to run to get it again across their body and restart the exercise. Now breakdowns are going to occur, but we want the players concentrating on trying to make these quality passes so that the exercise can flow. And as I'll say it, the players are flying through the exercise. I'll say, I want you guys flying through this. After a period of time and they get comfortable, I want them to be able to move very quickly from this. Now in this pattern, we continue to pass and follow our pass. So I'm passing and then following my pass out here. Now, when this player is making the pass and then making the run, it's really important that they realize where the next pass is going and they make sure they get out of the way of that pass. So they're making the run there. Likewise, when the player is running from this diagonal or this corner pass over here to the diagonal pass, we want to make sure this player is making their run out of the way. So that's just a part of kind of being aware of the exercise and what's occurring in it so that we're getting our runs that are into the open space and away from that pressure so that the ball can continually move. So we're passing, we're following our pass as this goes along. Now, obviously, the next thing you would do would be to flip the direction of all of these passes. So when you flip the direction of the passes, you're really challenging the players to now think the other direction. And they have to think about everything coming the opposite way. And it's always amazing to me how that just completely befuddles the players at first. They spend 2-3 minutes just trying to figure it out again, and now they're back into it. But that's great because it forces them to think in a different way than they've already thought. So this is a passing pattern that I really like. I think that you can teach a lot from here. Obviously in the game, there's lots of opportunity for diagonal passes in, diagonal passes out, straight passes down the line, and then diagonal passes. So you can see, how a center back would pass it to a wide midfielder, and the wide midfielder would knock it back to the outside back, and the outside back would play in to a forward, so or a center midfielder. So you can see where these kind of angles and passes would occur in the game. So it's something that's functional as well because you're going to carry these over into maybe your next activity that you're going to do. So I hope you like that activity and try it with your teams. And please leave a comment in the section below if you found a pattern that works well with you and with your players off of this, or any adjustments that you made that you thought worked really well. Thanks a lot.